Hi all. I'm going to continue coverage of Fischer's biography, this time 1961 to 1970. So in 1961 he had a match against Rzeszewski. The implications and drama of this, the play was abandoned because of a dispute indirectly created by Rzeszewski's refusal to play on Jewish Sabbath. It is ironic that a year later became a member of the World Church of God, a fundamentalist sect which also forbade play on the Jewish Sabbath. The score at the time the match was abandoned, Fischer had won 2, there were 7 draws and he had lost 2. Also that year, in 1961, there was the Bled, he came second place, he won 8 and drew 11. So he came after Tal, ahead though of Gligoric, Kez, Petrosian and Geller. Stockholm Interzonal 1962, he came first, he won 13 and drew 9, so he was 2.5 points ahead of the second prize winners. So it actually reflected a complete domination of the event in the Stockholm Interzonal. He was 2.5 points clear of his nearest rival. Then Baden wrote a report and it read, "This was a remarkable victory not only for its margin by the maturity of chess style by which it was achieved. It seemed that Fischer was combining the iron logic of a Botvinnik, the fanatical zeal to win of an Alekhine, and the endgame purity of Capablanca and Rubinstein." So the game's in round order. So Stockholm Interzonal. There was the Larsen exhibition match. He won +1. Candidates at Krakow. He came 4th, so he won 8, he drew 12, he lost 7. He came after Petrosian, Kez and Geller. It was a 28 round marathon where each player plays each other 4 times. So here are the results of this candidates. So he did very well against Paul Benko, very well against Philip. Against Geller though, he lost 1 here. He beat him second game, and the third game he lost again and he drew, so he lost the match overall against Geller. Against Kez, he lost 1 there, and so he won 1, lost 1, and the other 2 were draws. Against Korchnoi, he lost 2 to start off with, and he won 1 and drew 1. Petrosian beat him once and the other games were draws. Mikhail Tal, he beat Tal in 1 game, the other 2 were draws, but the other game was cancelled. Tal had to retire from tournament due to kidney trouble. So 5 out of the 8 competitors were from the USSR, and Fischer believed that they had conspired against him. The objective truth may have been that either Fischer, aged 19, was not good enough yet to win such an event, or that his sheer desire to win, to squeeze every last drop out of his positions, was inappropriate for the marathon tournament. Jaws would have allowed the conservation of energy. As a consequence of Fischer's belief of Russian conspiracy, he did not play in international tournaments for another 3 years, believe it or not. So that decision came in 1962, not to play for another 3 years. So here we have the Olympiad in Varna. Now this is a significant game against Mikhail Botvinnik, father of the Soviet chess school. He'd coached Karpov, Kasparov and Kramnik. So Botvinnik and Fischer struggled in their titanic encounter at the Varna Olympiad in 1962. The game ended in a draw. It was actually annotated quite heavily, and a young student of Botvinnik at the time by the name of Kasparov found some very interesting variations. I believe a way that Botvinnik could have won. In the US Championship 1962-63, here are the games in round order. Fischer came first, winning 6, drawing 4, losing just 1. 1963, the Western Open at Bay City, Michigan. So he came first, winning 7, drawing 1. New York Open, he came first, winning 7. US Championship 1963-64. So he demonstrated convincingly he was a class by himself. It was the only time that anyone had ever witnessed the whitewash of a field in the United States Championship. Fischer won all 11 games. And I have done videos of this amazing achievement. If you look up King's Crusher, Fischer 1963, you should find each of these games video annotated. 1964 he went on a simultaneous tour. 1965 Capablanca Memorial Tournament held in Havana. He came second, winning 12, drawing 6, losing 3, equal with Geller and Ivkov, half point behind the winner, who was Smyslov. Smyslov was another past world champion, Russian world champion. So the caption here, New York Times, Anthony Sadie and Fischer, US chess tournament in New York 1965. Boards on the wall reflect moves in games in progress, underway. So he won that 1965 championship, winning 8, drawing 1, losing just 2. Here are the games in round order. 1966 Piatigorsky Cup, Santa Monica. So here we see Fischer, he came second. He won 7, drew 8, lost 3. He was half a point behind Spassky. So Boris Spassky is on the left here. Mr. and Mrs. Gregor Piatigorsky and Robert Fischer here on the right. Here are the games in round order. US Championship 1966-67. He came first, winning 8, drawing just 3, no losses. 1967 Monaco. He came first, winning 6 games, drawing 2, losing 1. Skopje. He came first again, winning 12, drawing 3, losing just 2. So you can see here Fischer's dominance, tournament after tournament, just getting first prize after first prize. In the Sousa Interzonal though, he withdrew. He was on +7, i.e. winning 7 and just drawing 3. So what is the drama of this tournament in the Sousa Interzonal? He seemed destined to win the Interzonal, having a comfortable lead after 10 rounds. Unfortunately, he became involved in a dispute which revolved around playing schedules. So this led to his withdrawal from the tournament, which meant his chances of becoming champion were delayed for another 3 years. So that was a critical Interzonal. 1967. 1968, Netanya Israel. He came first, winning 10, drawing 3. Here's a Benoit. He managed to beat Geller, who he'd often losing against more than any other GM. Vinkovsky, Yugoslavia. He came first, winning 9, drawing 4. 1969, Metropolitan League. 1970, there was a rest of the ball match versus USSR, so he accepted playing board 2. Board 1 was Bent Larsen. On board 2, he won 2 and drew 2 against Tigran Petrosian here. I think this is Larsen in the background here. Herceg Novi 5-minute, he came first in this 5-minute chess tournament, winning 17, drawing 4, losing just 1. So some of the great champions were good at 5-minute chess. Tournament of Peace, April 12 to 26. He came first, winning 10, drawing 6, losing just 1 game. So who did he lose to here? Out of interest. So he lost to Kosovic. Let's have a quick look. So it was a French defence. Sometimes he didn't seem to have very good results against the French defence in particular. So here it seems Black's counterplay was quite strong. So 41 of Fischer's conditions had been met for this Tournament of Peace. Buenos Aires. Here are the games in round order. He came first, winning 13 games, drawing 4, no losses. Olympiad in Siegen, he was at board 1. On board 1, he won 8, he drew 4, he lost just 1, losing only to Spassky. The caption here is Spassky and Fischer, an earlier contest held in Siegen, Germany, September 20th, 1970. So Fischer's lost to Spassky. How did he lose to Spassky in the second major encounter? It was Grunfeld defence, where Spassky played very aggressively, sacking a pawn later. This has been video annotated on YouTube. I've annotated this game actually. So Spassky again showing how dangerous he is with the attacking initiative. Palma de Majorca interzonal. He gained a place in this tournament because Benko gave up this place. Here are the games in round order. He came first in this tournament, winning 15 games, drawing 7, just losing 1. So he came first by a margin of 3.5 points. So that's really a major tournament victory. So I hope you enjoyed that brief overview of Fischer 1961 to 1970. Please leave any comments on YouTube. Thanks very much.